Market update here on the 16th. I'm going to start off with Tesla here. I'm going to go over Tesla pretty extensively. I think there's a lot of people that want to know what's going on with it. And I don't have all the answers. There's lots of different counts that could be, that could happen. And nobody knows what they're going to announce. Every day is something crazy with Tesla, so we don't know. But we can have some educated guesses and see what happens. And hedge if you're long, whatever. So going back to videos I've done over the last year or so, I've had this count. I have to go to the log chart for this, just go over this. I've always thought this was the fourth wave right here at 100, and that we were making a diagonal. So the diagonal would look like something like that up here to like 500 or so, maybe only like 450, but that was always my count. And obviously this has gotten pretty out of hand and gone a lot lower than I thought it was going to, but it's still possible that this is a diagonal. So that's obviously the bullish count, and that's the only bullish count I do see. I don't see another, well, I see two bullish counts. But the second bullish count is not an actual bullish count. It's just bullish for the C leg. So it's either a diagonal or it's A, B, C like that, and then we come down. So those are the two bullish counts that are possible. Besides that, there's nothing bullish about this chart. And, you know, on monthly, weekly, daily, we're below all the moving averages. So now let's go in here and just look at what's going on. I've found that the regular chart actually is a lot better overall than the log chart for this, whatever reason. So I'm going to the regular chart for this. So on this move right here, this was ABC. And we didn't quite get to the 1.61 fib, but ABC right there. So let's go down to the weekly. So this whole thing was A, B, C, and then we got this B wave, and then we got the C wave down here. So this was a regular zigzag pattern. So zigzag right here. I'm going to go ahead and label that. And then we get this right here. I think this whole thing is just a double 3. So that means 3, 3, and 3. So this right here, again, which is a normal zigzag pattern. We have ABC. So zigzag. And these can be anything. And then this move right here, I would probably expect it to be a zigzag, but it's not actually going that way, in my opinion. And I would expect this, if this was going to be the final move down here, I would expect this to be similar in length to this, more explosive. It really hasn't been that explosive, so I'm still leaning towards this being the B leg, and we're going to see the C leg higher. Just based on that, you can look at the difference in moves here. These moves are a lot shorter and a little bit more chop. This is a little bit more explosive, from 319 all the way down to 100. Unless this is going to explode here soon, then I would say it's probably the B leg. So anyway, let's just compare these two. If this were going to be the Y leg down, so if it's going to be A, B, C like that, down here to like 20 bucks, then I would say that this right here has to only be the A leg. I think we're only right here. And if we look at this chart right here, W is right here, X is right here, and where do we hit the parallel line again? Right here on March 11th, or maybe it's March 15th. Yeah, March 15th. So I would say if this is going to go down, then this right here is actually A or W, and we'd be looking for a bounce and then come down like that. This right here bounced to the 0.5 fib. So I would expect a bounce to the 0.5 fib. Let's just see where the 0.5 fib goes to. And the 0.5 fib goes to 231. I drew a parallel line from the top of the start of this move right here all the way through, and look where 231 hits right here. August 7th, 231. August 7th, I think that's actually the robo-taxi date. So that's possible. You also have the shorter trend line from the top of here to X right here. So if this is going to go down here, then you're going to get a bounce more than likely soon to this area right here around 225 to 230. And then you see the final move down. The final move down would probably go to a little bit short of the 1.61 fib. I'd probably be looking for something around like 70, 80 bucks, like that. So that's the first possibility. The other possibility is if we're going to go higher in the diagonal, we're going to go down to 130 right now. So 130 is a gap fill. It's also in demand. We are kind of in no man's land right now, so that's definitely possible as well. So let's go ahead and zoom in here now. And you notice we've stayed on this trend line perfectly. And I said a month ago, we bottomed here at March 14th as what I expected, because you have this right here was the A leg, and then you have the X wave, WX. This took about 5 months from July 20th to December 28th. So I would expect the Y leg to be about half of that. And where do we bottom at? March 15th. That's about half of it. We hit the parallel line perfectly, bounced. But now we're doing this movement where it's like we broke the lows, we broke monthly demand. And so there's two different possibilities from here, short term. Two different possibilities are, let's go down to the hourly. So the two different possibilities are, let's do the bullish one first. A, B, C. Hit the parallel line maybe on Friday, like that. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's also, this is kind of crazy how this all matches up. This is also the 1.61 fib. So that would be a valid ABC move, and that would make this whole thing A, B, and we get a C leg higher with earnings. Who knows how high? It could go all the way up to 205, like this. That's possible. That's the 1.61 fib. So that's one possibility. I expect it to go to 150.65 either way by Friday or maybe early next week. But the second possibility is that we hit 1, 2, 3, we bounce into earnings, and then we sell off probably down here to 130, like that. Maybe just here in 140 too. Based on the first leg, I would probably say 157. I'd probably say, yeah, 130, high 130s. Gap fills at 136, so maybe 136. And then we'd be going higher after that. So those are the two possibilities. Basically 130 to 140, or we come down here to 150 into earnings and blast off for a C leg. And then that would more than likely be the start of a move higher to the robo-taxi date, which I just showed you on August 7th around 2:30. So let's just see, 205, 1.61 fib is right around there. So those are two possibilities I see on the short-term time frame. That's what I see in the long-term time frame. We're going to 130, 140 probably. or we're going to bounce into earnings and go up to 230 by August. So, and again, the other possibility is going to be very hard to get now, in my opinion, that we broke the lows. That was the diagonal. Because for that to be valid, we have to finish this 5 waves. We have to come down here to 130 to 140. We can't have an ABC move starting it off. We would want to see an impulse move started off with. So that's Tesla. It's a lot to take in, but really all you need to look at is a short-term time frame. 160 tomorrow, 150 by Friday or Monday, and then you see, are we going to get an ABC bounce? Or are we going to blast off on earnings? That, I don't know. We'll see. On standard deviations, 130 also is the very bottom of the standard deviations. So if you really want to see this take off, then you're probably going to want to see 130 first, or 136. But if you just want to get a bounce up here to 230, then you want to see good earnings up here to 200, pull back, and 230 by August. But then at that point, you want to get out, because at that point, we're going to tank down here to 70 bucks. So that is Tesla. Let's go over the overall market. Go over SPX. So not really that much to go over. It's following what I laid out in the video yesterday. We just made a 4th wave. I expect this to go higher tomorrow probably. So maybe a little bit higher. And then it can't come back into 5, 10, 7 though. So it can go up 0.5% maybe tomorrow. And then expecting it to pull down here to 497.0. So that kind of matches up with Tesla too. We bottom right here. And then we bounce. And again, we don't know if we're going to bounce and go lower or that's going to be the bottom. Okay, RTY. Down 0.5%. Still in a 4th wave like I talked about. Maybe a little bit higher tomorrow, and then the 5th leg down here to 191 to 194. QQQ, just because I already have this labeled. Same thing, looking for a 4th wave, 5th wave down here to 426. The dollar, up again today. Still hasn't broken the high, but I'm still watching the 107.37 level. See if it breaks and confirms a move up to like 110. Boeing still crap. It did bounce out of here though at 167, which is one of the demand zones. We'll see how that goes. Mara, this one's like kind of unbelievable. It just keeps on going lower. I do think this is going to bounce. I don't know if this is a 5-wave move though. It broke the low right here, so this can't be a first leg. Can't be a first wave anymore. It's possible that we're looking at this like this. And then if that were to happen, I'd be looking at a 0.5 pullback here around like 24 bucks. And it's a very tricky chart really overall. Because again, we did hit the very top of the parallel line back here in December, and that was close to the top. So it is possible too that this is the finishing touches of let me see here, month of a C leg. So it's possible that we get something like this. Up to 45 bucks, but Bitcoin's going to have to really take off. I do think Bitcoin's going to take off. So I think on Mara, it's just kind of waiting to see what happens here. We're at the very bottom of the standard deviations. We're in a weekly demand zone. We almost filled this gap here at 1366. So here's the next supply zone here at 21 bucks. I'm expecting a bounce here soon. Probably after the market bounces at 497.0 on SPX, this will bounce too. But until then, they might just pin it lower. I need to do a SoFi video next. Neo is in demand here. Although it keeps on falling, it is in demand. If it does break this demand zone, you got another demand zone below it. Just straight down. I expect that to bounce here soon. All the gaps are filled on Neo. There is a gap down here, but if it goes that low, that's just insane. That's another 30%. So I think Neo is a good buy right here. Donald Trump stock. I'll go over Nividia here in a second. So this is hitting the target I talked about, but it might be just keep on going lower. Look at that move. That's insane. It's now through the 200 DMA. So now you're looking down here at the gap fill here at 17 bucks. It's going to 17 bucks. Nividia, still kind of in this zone, but like it's setting up perfectly. ABC, move higher, pull back into demand. Looks like it's ready to take off for this fifth leg higher, to be honest. Look at that. Perfect. So I think I'm going to leave it at that. I haven't looked at the other stocks, to be honest, that much. Today was kind of a boring day besides the first like 30 minutes. So maybe next video I'll go over more of the tech stocks, but for now, that's pretty much it. Leave me a comment, like, subscribe for more updates. Catch you in the next video.